Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I'm here today to have a chat to you about a couple of things in-game, namely pace of play, and how you play your tank and why you play it in that particular manner. Now, I have often been accused by the culturally illiterate of being just a camping Aussie clown. And that's not true at all. I do actually push the pace when the pace needs to be pushed. And I often camp when I need to camp. And the game is a nuanced game. And it's a game that's got a lot of variance, even within tanks of a similar nature. Now, I'm going to show you 3 games today. And one is in the Jg.Pz E100. The next one's in the mouse, and the final game is in the E100. And tanks don't come much tubbier than those 3 big German pie eaters. But they're a whole lot of fun, and they have defining characteristics for each tank. But the main thing that differs between the 3 games is the maps and the team makeup, not the tanks. The main difference is the team makeup and the maps. Now, this is a supremacy game. Supremacy is all about getting cap points. Now, people whinge and whine about big TDs being inefficient for supremacy games, and they're not. They're really not, but they're inefficient when you just sit at the back doing nothing in them. I've got a flank here with 3 mediums behind me. It would be absolutely pointless to not use 3 mediums and a heavy that are willing to push up and get involved and get stuck in. Their TDs have taken a very, very passive approach to the game. Likewise, their mediums. Well, the mediums haven't had much choice because I came barreling around the corner there. I hit his gun for 500 damage. Isn't that cool? The grill. Let me show you something really crazy before we go any further. The grill just trolls the hell out of me. I hit the gun of the grill all the time. Like, it's an enormously long gun compared to the rest of the tank, but really, I mean, that's done 0 damage with high explosive and has hit the gun. Okay, and I've just hit the gun before as well. It's like, there you go again. There's the gun again. I cannot believe that. That is just... And I've got so much footage of me firing at a grill and hitting the gun. It's like the auto-aim goes exactly to the very, very tip of the weapon and no further. I cannot stop hitting the gun of the grill. It drives me absolutely nuts, and it happens all the freaking time. Anyway, I digress. There you go. You might remember when I did an RU251 video, there was a shot in nearly this exact spot on a Borsig that looked like it had hit the ground behind me, and it was inexplicable until I slowed it down and looked at it, and some people on YouTube said, you hit his gun? And it's like the auto-aim is perfectly positioned to hit the gun on the grill. Anyway, there you go. I hit his gun again there. That's incredible. Like, wow. Onwards. So, pace of play is dictated by the game, by the map, by the tanks. You've got to get better at recognizing this, because I find that a lot of people, and if you've watched me on stream, you'll know that I just don't sit there at the back all the time not doing anything. Sometimes I'm too passive, sometimes I'm too aggressive, but I'm making a judgment call every single time I play the game. And especially at tier 10 these days, with the incredible prevalence of tank destroyers, and by incredible prevalence, I mean this. Games like this where you have 4 TDs on each side, and I'm not using the extreme games where you've got 6 TDs on each side. Those things happen because, you know, people like firing big guns, and TDs have the biggest guns, and that's fair enough. But for all that, it can really mean that the meta stagnates, and it's one of the reasons why I've had a bit of a bone to pick with the FV215B183. The Death Star has been responsible for more completely undynamic gameplay than the world has ever seen. If you want to have a look at the last, or a couple of streams ago, I did a game where we played tier 10 at the end, and there was like 3 Death Stars on either side, and the game ended in a draw because no one moved. No one moved at all till the last 30 seconds. So you've got to look at the teams and say, well, I've got 3 meds that are willing to move here. If they're willing to move, I'm going to reward them by supporting them. And then when there's opportunities, because you've got such a big armor profile in the Jg.Pz E100, you can actually roll forward and do things like this, where you punish them and you use your hit points really, really effectively. And you don't just pike out and sit at the back and wait and work off other people's hit point pool. Now that's not a bad tactic, and it's valid, and I've done videos on it called Be the Vampire and smart play, but you're not doing it in IS-7. You're not doing it in an E100 except in particular circumstances where you simply can't push the line without being spotted and garroted. What you're looking for is the opportunity to sell your hit points really, really dearly. And that's what we did in this game. We rolled out there, we punched the numbers, and we eventually died. But we left the team in such a strong position that they couldn't help but overcome. And they did. And we ended up doing about 5,000 damage. Which is worth it. Which is really, really worth it. Like, it's a really, really good thing to do. And that's why you get tanks like this, the Mouse, that get so badly played. I did a video on the FV4202 and the Centurion 701 yesterday, and I mentioned how people drive tanks ineffectively. And drive those particular tanks ineffectively. And this is kind of the way I play the Mouse. I drive as fast as I possibly can to the important key tactical parts of the map. And I don't stop to ask for directions. Now, it might be that that's a corridor fight where driving to the important tactical part of the map only involves moving forward 50 feet and stopping. But I make sure that my tank is in a position to use its best attributes. Now, the Mouse's best attributes are not its gun, it's not its mobility, it's not its crazy camo, it's not its high pen. Its best attribute is its hit point pool and its armor, and the combination of those two things. And you have 2,500 hit points. You have the most hit points on the field. Full stop. I mean, I have absolutely moved the map here, and I've done so, and it's cost me 1,000 hit points, and I've still got nearly 1,500 hit points left, and an armor profile that's enormous. And we now have 3 of their TDs stuck in a corner, and we're going to win this pretty easily, like pretty convincingly. And it's not going to be a really high damage game by me. But it's going to be the kind of game that I love to play. The kind of game that makes the best use of the tank and puts it in a position to use those attributes which are the best quality attributes that it possesses. And there's we've got a T110E4, we've got an FV215B183, and we've got a T30, and they're all sitting down the back. And the best target in the whole game for them to be firing at, from our team's perspective, is this one, the Mouse. The guy who can soak up the most shots, who can bounce the most shots, and who can do the best with those opportunities. I'm setting up for a side scrap here, but I don't really realise that these guys are just had it. They're driving at me, and that's all there is to it. So I make a big target. I'm going to get hit again, and that's fine. It just doesn't worry me, because I'm going to pull these guys around the corner, and a 183 is going to absolutely stop them in its tracks. And now I'm going onwards and upwards, put another shot in, drive around the corner. Still got 300 hit points left. I'm a one shot, but I've got a really crazy strong armor profile because even my butt is tough to hit. And that's why I love tanks like this, and that's why I play different tanks in a different manner. Now, people love extremes. We all love that perfect news bite that fits into, the video grab that shows how silly someone is without showing any of the context. And that's kind of understandable because, we're a quick-fire world. We move very fast. We've got lots and lots of information to assimilate every day. But the idea that there is no nuance, the idea that wargaming is bad and Bushka said to do this and, the Mouse is horrible or the Death Star is overpowered or the T-49 is too strong. I mean, there's an argument to be made in nearly all those cases that there is a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, and like Mark Twain said, there's two sides to every story, and then there is the truth. And I may well say that you should not expose your hit point pool for no good reason, and you should let the people who aren't particularly good and want to YOLO go forward and die while you don't. But that doesn't mean that if I'm driving a mouse, I'm going to sit on the back hill in mines and snipe the corner. It means that I'm going to drive the tank effectively, and I'm going to expose it when it needs to be exposed, and I'm going to try and save my hit points, but I'm also going to make me the major target, make my tank the target that is most often shot at, because that's the best possible thing for my team to be to have in their mouse driver. Now, this is the last game I'm going to show you. And this has been a little bit of a soliloquy on the mountain, a little bit of a sermon from me, and I'm sorry about that. But I just get really tired of the idea that nothing in this world can be discussed or debated. You know, ratings suck, ratings are the best. You know, the bloody T-49 is overpowered is the one that kills me the most. You're looking at a tank there where you can literally have a 0 damage game one game because you're driving in a tier 9 game and there's all this armor in front of you, or you can have a game where there's 4,000 damage because the other team is light tanks and there's nothing to stop you from absolutely wrecking them. It's just the risk and reward. It's one of the reasons why I love Hesh. It's such a risk and reward. There is a skill level involved. And I don't want to lose that within Blitz. I don't want everything to be vanilla. I want there to be differences in tanks. It's one of the best things about the game. This IS-8 is not built for this area here. And I love this in the gameplay. He doesn't whinge at me for taking the side scraping position. He just moves to the back and tries to get shots in as he can and does his level best. And I set the Pie Eater up. Now I'm with my good mate Jg.Pz here. This is the biggest tank on the field right now. I think I've got the most hit points. Yeah, got the most hit points. Okay. I've got a 150mm gun, but I'm not going to YOLO. I don't see any point in putting myself in a horrible situation. I've driven 50 meters from my spawn, and I'm ready to play. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to side scrape. I am going to work on keeping myself as a very, very minimal target between my reloads. And when I've got one in the spout, I'm going to face the Yag. I'm going to put a shot in, and then I'm going to side scrape again. This is the same as the first game. I'm driving the tank really effectively. I don't have a lot of flank protection. Jg.Pz is going out to the flank now, and he's going to leverage off me and get shots in up here as people push across and try to kill me. The IS-8 is going to do his level best to put damage in when he gets the opportunity. We've got an AFK T-95 in spawn, and there's a grill behind me who's sniping. Again, he's using my hit points, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Jg.Pz is now moving around there. He's going to take out the STB that just shot me from the right-hand side, which would be very, very appreciated. I'm leaving the Yag alone because I basically don't want to have to expose myself to get the kill shot. This is why I love Blitz. There's so many different ways to play the game. The game before this was Black Goldville, and against all my better judgment, we went town, and I pushed town in the E100 until I came through their spawn, did about 3k, Jg.Pz did about 3k. We won the game going away, and we did it because we were very, very aggressive in the same two tanks. This game, I'm sitting on a corner, I am literally denying this whole area, and I can see that the push is coming, so I rush a shot in, and then I move back because I want to set up a much better angle against the rest of these guys. They kill my poor old IS-8. The E5 pushes around. He's looking for a little bit of cover to get past me. I just leave my tank and bail. The E100 is just a beautiful big tank. It's so much fun. And the meta at the moment has really changed to the point where there's been a big revitalization in the heavy field at tier 10. Jg.Pz has been tapping. If you've not noticed, he's got 3 kills. I've been side scraping. The T95 is still sitting there doing nothing. The grill is up the top. I don't know how he's still alive. He's got no hit points left. The 95 is actually doing a good job of just spotting them every time they pop out, which is really, really handy. And I'm going to push around here. We're behind on points. It's a supremacy game, and the pace of play has been completely different from the first 2 games. I have not moved from, what would you say, 60 meters from where I spawned, 70 meters, maybe 100 at best. I've not gone anywhere. That IS-7 is going down to kill the grill. Jg.Pz is a very, very sore and sorry 215B at the moment, but he is capping C. B never got capped. I'm going to move around here, kill the IS-8, cap B, and everyone is going to be a winner. And that's pace of play, and that's why I love playing Supremacy and Encounter battles. I leave them on all the time, regardless of the tank I'm in. I let the teams and the map and the players dictate the tactics I take. You've got to be flexible. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to look at things and decide whether it's time to go forward. And that'll come as you get better at the game, and it'll come as you become more and more in tune with your platoon mates and the maps and the general metas of the teams around them. There's no better way of doing that than just playing. Play, 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 play more. And nice game there, Jg.Pz. Massive supporting effort in 4K there. Nearly 9k damage in platoon, which is pretty cool. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Look after yourselves. Hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of a change of pace. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield.